reports.
The rebuilding of homes razed down by bandits in Laikipia has begun in earnest as calm slowly returns to the county after close to 4 days of deadly skirmishes.
Everybody, hawa watu wote ambao walichomewa wote 26, tutajenga nyumba 3 rooms kwa kila mtu, 26 houses ambazo zinafanana. And each one of the houses is 3 bedrooms.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, who spent a second consecutive day at All Moran, kick-started the construction of the base for the newly formed police division.
You can see we are constructing UNIHAT because we are pulling in more numbers, more police officers who are going to be here. Because the characteristic of our divisional headquarters, it will have probably nearly 100 police officers based here.
The CS, who was accompanied by Deputy Inspector of Police Nur Gabo, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea, and Laikipia Governor Nderitu Mureithi, said more police officers and 2 additional police stations will secure residents from incursions.
Yale mambo ambayo yamefanywa pande ile ya kujaribu kuhamisha watu wetu kutoka pale ama kutisha watu wengine. Nimekuja hapa wananchi kuhakikishia hivi, hakuna mtu atahamishwa kutoka pande hii ya Laikipia. Kila mtu ako hapa kwa haki. Na kwa sababu hapa ni kwenu na wewe ujisikie uko nyumbani, uko kwa shamba yako, uko kwa nyumba yako.
Speaking at the Sipili Trading Center, the CS warned residents flouting the dusk till dawn curfew that the operation is still ongoing in the area. Daniel Kariuki for Switch TV News.
Meanwhile, Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has called on the national government and the Ministry of Interior to pull up their socks to deal with the security turmoil in Laikipia. Oparanya adding that it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the security of its citizens at all time, raising alarm on how bad the situation might turn out to be if the responsible bodies are slack in taking actions.
Hii miaka yote tumepata uhuru, watu bado wanachomewa manyumba, wengine wanauawa kama mnyama, na tuna security forces. Kama polisi haiwezi, tuna armed forces, tuna army inaweza kwenda hapo isaidie. Kwa sababu nimeona wale watu ambao nimeona katika runinga vile watu wanapata kule tabu, kule Laikipia. If the government is not able to protect its own citizens, then the government has therefore failed to provide security to its people.
We shift gears now to matters politics. As the political temperatures continue heating up in the country, Deputy President William Ruto continues to defend the hustler narrative, saying it is a national movement meant to defy tribal politics. While speaking to youths at his residence today, Ruto has urged young people to be involved in making a decision of changing the political landscape of the country. Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah, who was present at the time at the consultative meeting, also called for people to shun ethnic politics as we head to the 2022 general elections.
And I have challenged my competitors that if they are really serious, that they have a plan, that they have a program, that they have an agenda for Kenya, the place to begin is to have a vehicle that has the capacity to be able to handle the challenges that face Kenya. You cannot ride a tribal vehicle and take it and assume that will take you to a national destination. It will not get there. I am telling you as the young people of this nation, do not accept to be in the periphery. Do not accept that this country is about leaders. Do not accept that this country is about tribes. This country is about every young person. You are the greatest stakeholders of the now and the future of our nation.
Meanwhile, Kakamega Senator Cleopas Malala has warned leaders against involving politics in matters of the rebirth of Mumias Sugar Company. Speaking in Kakamega, Malala alleged that the leaders responsible for this process are Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya and ODM leader Raila Odinga. He has continued drumming support for NC party leader Musalia Mudavadi in the upcoming elections next year, adding that the main reason why the community does not rise is because of disagreements among various leaders.
Mimi nimeota ndoto na ndoto yangu ni kwamba tunasema in 2022 ni lazima jamii yetu tuwe pamoja ndio tuweze kufaidika kwa serikali ambayo inakuja. Na sisi tumesema na tumesisitiza kwamba in 2022 jamii zote za Waluya ziwe nyuma ya mtoto wao Musalia Mudavadi. Naomba kwa unyenyekevu, let us give our brother Musalia Mudavadi nguvu ndio tusonge mbele. So mimi ningependa kuomba tafadhali viongozi tukae pamoja nyuma ya Mluya mwenzetu. Ningependa kuambia Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga na chama cha ODM, you are the problem of Mumias Sugar. Kwa sababu wewe Raila ndio uliteua Kidero na Kidero ndio aliangusha Mumias Sugar. The solution of Mumias Sugar lies in the hands of two people. Wa kwanza ni Oparanya ambaye ako na pesa ya county government. Commit money and put it in farmers. You are the solution. Mtu wa pili ni Raila kwa sababu anakaa na Uhuru Kenyatta. Enda ambia Uhuru Kenyatta apatie Mumias pesa iletwe hapa.
We focus now on matters of health. The government has deemed it necessary to revise the first vaccine deployment plan in hopes to have 26 million people vaccinated by the end of 2022. Meanwhile, the country has registered 511 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the positivity rate to 7.9%. Harry Chimea files the report on the Ministry of Health strategy on vaccinations.
With only about 2 million people receiving their first dose, and with WHO's recommendations to vaccinate at least 30 million Kenyans, Kenya is now on a road in bid to reach the mark of vaccinated 26 million people come 2022. The Ministry of Health has said they will increase the average number of daily vaccinations from the current 40,000 to 80,000 by the end of September and 150,000 by end of December 2021. However, there have been challenges along the way. Out of the initial projected 4.1 million delivery of doses at the start of the program, Kenya has received only 1.2 million doses, and additionally 1.8 million doses of AstraZeneca and 880,000 of Moderna were received in August, bringing the total to 3.6 million vaccine doses as at the last week of August 2021. Some of the notable changes so far is that the Ministry of Health has rescheduled the administration of the second dose from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. Meanwhile, the government has embarked on the local manufacture of COVID-19 vaccines during the first quarter of 2022 and aims to have fully fledged human vaccine manufacturing capability by 2024. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Harriet Chimea.
Away from that, corruption scandal surrounding the National Youth Service NYS continues to derail its mission and visions, with a section of parliamentarians doubting its ability to wisely manage responsible resources. This according to the director Matilda Sakwa. Ugunja Member of Parliament Opiyo Wandayi has now called upon the government to establish a policy that will make it necessary for all the youth with knowledge to make them more important and be seen in the society, in addition to expand the NYS with information and its advantages.
Service is not about corruption. National Youth Service is not about procurement. National Youth Service is not about scandals. National Youth Service is about so many other issues. Very nice things. That was just a small part and a terrible part which we don't want to repeat.
But I am proud to note that in the short span of time that Madam DG has been in office, a lot of transformation has happened. And what we have currently is a new NYS. We pray that this new NYS continues to grow into a much bigger institution. Government needs to introduce the policy that existed earlier on of youth being allowed to join NYS before engaging in other productive activities. Initially, university students would go and undertake an NYS course before joining university. That policy was stopped some time back for a reason I don't know.
Commercial break, but before that, still our focus on matters COVID-19 is that a new study has shown that unvaccinated people are 11 times more likely to die of COVID-19. Unvaccinated people are more likely 11 times to die of COVID-19. That means let's of course make time and get vaccinated by the Ministry of Health. I'm so sure actually the doses are free out there. That's just our new statistics that has shown that. And of course you can keep your comments coming in via 111 and also via social media platforms as SwiTV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, SwiTV Kenya and Joel Chacha. And coming up after the break will be our special feature tonight. A student who is also a guard. You can't afford to miss that. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Teresia Washira. Moving on, the most recent census conducted in Kenya revealed that 8.3% of the population has a university degree as the highest educational level. But is it a similar percentage reflected on those employed? As for Nancy, a third-year student at Kenyatta University, the proposed increment of fees, if implemented, will shatter her dreams. Our reporter Mariam Jahid tells us her story on how she is sustaining herself by foregoing her dreams to achieve her dreams. Take a look.
We set out at around 10 a.m. in the morning. Our destination is in the outskirts of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, 27 kilometers away from the CBD. We are headed for Kenyatta Market, which is a walking distance from Kenyatta University. We are headed there to meet with Nancy Kahenda, a 25-year-old third-year English literature student at Kenyatta University. She is student by day and a guard by night. I am Mariam Jahid, and this is the Student Guard. Kahenda ushers us into this single room where she has been calling home for 4 years now. She was preparing to leave for her classes before our arrival. She serves us water. As we gulp down, she shares her day-to-day ordeals in her quest to quench her thirst for education.
Wakati nilicall off nikawa nimekaa kwa nyumba nikaona nitafanya nini because kulingana na ile background mimi ninatoka nikaona sitaweza pesa itapatikana niweze kulipa school fees. That's why nikaona heri nikuja hapa, nikaingia hapa KU, nikaenda nikaomba manager wa Lavington Security, nikaongea naye, nikamwambia aweze tu kunipatia nafasi ili nikaweza kufanya kazi, nikaweza kulipa school fees. Na huyo naye akawa mtu mzuri, akanielewa. Na nikamwambia ile shida nilizokuwa nazo, juu aliniweka kazi mchana. Nikafanya mwezi mmoja hiyo mchana, but nikaona pia ni vigumu. Nikamwongelesha naye akawa kama mzazi, akanielewa na akanipa nafasi nikaweza kuingia usiku.
It's a few minutes walk from her home through this dusty road to this magnificent blue gate. This is a source of livelihood, the well from which she has managed to sustain her life in this university. After losing her father at an early age, Nancy grew up under the care of her widowed mother in Chepkuma village in Nandi County.
Mimi kwanza nikiwa high school, nimekuwa mtu wa kujituma kabisa. Yes, because I could even sell firewood. Dude, I was in a day school. Nilikuwa pia naenda forest, tunapasua kuni, weekend tunauza, me and my sister. But my sister did not make it through ya kumake early dropout. Na mimi nikajikaza because I was also sikuwa vibaya sana. Na ule wakati wa kutuma mtu school fees nyumbani, mimi sikuwa ninatumwa sana because I was a little bit sharp.
After admission to the Kenyatta University, Nancy was on her own. Survival is for the fittest in the city, and she has been forced to adapt in finding a balance between her education and part-time work. Her day runs takes for 24 hours.
Kazi usiku, mchana naenda darasa, but ni vigumu kabisa. Kulingana na mimi ni vigumu because the times 5, ikifika 5 nafaa niwe nakuja kazi. And at times kuna classes zinaanza 5. Wakati nilijoin, nilianza na GPA ya juu, but nikafika mahali nika drop kabisa. Niliweza kudrop, na hiyo kudrop sana sana ilitokana na mimi naweza sema ni kazi, kwa sababu unaona hiyo kazi, nasema kazi juu sometimes a lot of classes I do miss. Sababu class ya 7 asubuhi sitamake. That is one. Sitamake hiyo class ya 7 to 9 labda. Na tena at the same time class ya 5 to 7 jioni sitazimake. So zile zenye naweza kumake na za hapa katikati tu during the day.
Being a night guard for anyone in a city where people are at times robbed on broad daylight comes with its fair share of challenges.
Sema kama hapa naweza pata unaogopa saa zingine, of which unajitahidi tu, yani unajikaza. Yes, umeogopa, but una otherwise, unaona. Kuna wakati nimekuwa pale gate, nilipangwa main gate. Pale nifasi unajua wakiingia pale unaangalia ID yao. So unapata mwingine anakupata nakwambia, "Guy, wewe ni soja," unaona. Okay, utaipata vizuri, unaona. But sasa pia ukiwa class pia unaona sasa pia tena kule kuingiana na wao sana unakuwa na limits. Huwezi zoeana na wanafunzi wenzako pia. Juu tena unajua wewe ni mfanyikazi, unaona.
According to her colleague and immediate supervisor, Nancy is a dedicated guard.
Kwa majina naitwa Steven Obiero, nafanya kazi na kampuni ya security ya Lavington. Nancy Kahenda ni mmoja wetu, na wakati ni kazi ambayo ina changamoto hapa na pale, na kwa kuwa yeye ni mwanafunzi na pia tutafanya na yeye, wakati mwingine inaweza kuwa yuko na mtihani wa kufanya, sengine inaweza kuwa yuko na darasa la kwenda, lakini wakati ule unapofika sisi huweza kumpatia ruhusa ama kumshikia aende afanye mtihani, akimaliza yarudi kazini.
Siku hizi hakuna kuchagua kazi. Yes. Hii ndio kazi inamlipia school fees na inamsustain kwa nyumba. Analipa rent, mahitaji yake.
Education expert Jasper Omondi notes that a rising number of university students are dropping out of campus due to financial constraints despite government subsidies.
So some of them will just drop out of school to go and look for money. And therefore the Higher Education Loans Board, the amount that is given to this particular students is not enough. That is why the government ought to review the amount of money that these particular students are given in university, because most of them are really suffering. And as I've hinted initially, is that once the parent has heard that my child has received a loan from Higher Education Loans Board, then they just pull out, and then the learners are left suffering.
Campus girls, ningewahimiza tu wengi wao, nipata mtu labda anataka fatana na wababa, so known as sponsors, waachane tu.
But they have something to learn from Nancy Kahenda, who is a student at Kenyatta University and is employed as a night guide to cater for her school fees. Mariam Jahid, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Well, thank you so much, Mariam Mjahid, for highlighting our story. And to Nancy, we wish you all the best in your endeavors. And now, being on a weekend, I now toss the ball to Cedric Oronje for the latest in the world of sports.
Now, many thanks for staying with us this Saturday, and it's a good